Greetings, I believe you're doing fantastic. This is a video explanation of NLP assignment that is submitted by me, Aman. So let's start with the explanation. So this is a note, I believe you will love it. So the problem statement was two objectives were there. Get the most frequent entities from the tweet. That was the first objective, and second objective was find out sentiment on polarity of each authors toward each of the entities. So these were the main problem statement, and here's my approach. So before going for approach, I want to see how I learned, what was the overall experience. So I spent literally 40 to 50% of my time just for exploring reading through research paper, getting better understanding of what is in my data and what I have to do, looking for some implementation over GitHub, over analyticalvidya.com and other website. And then I get to know a lot of my things. So I spend good time on data analysis, the raw data analysis. Then I go for learning, and I get to know about a lot of new concepts such as chunking, tagging, NLP techniques, and I also get to know about how the Grammarly works. Chunking, how it's actually you chunk the sentences, like words from the sentences, using that nouns, verbs, pronouns, adjectives, and more, like 8 part of speech. Then tagging, I get to know that, and other NLP techniques. Rest of the time I was coding it up and fixing some bugs, and yeah, this was the overall experience of building this particular solution. So I want to take you through all the steps that I did. So first was raw data analysis, second was conversion of raw data into data frame, defining function for the future uses, then translating tweets into English language. That was main part. That was the idea when I get to know about, like, from data analysis I was scrolling it, and then I get to know that there's some Japanese text out there that I have to convert into English for better data uses. Then there's a data pre-processing. I did removing spaces, numbers, HTTPs and other unnecessary emojis and hashtags from the tweet itself. Then extracting entities for the tweets with its frequency. That was the solution of objective 1. Then data visualization was there. Then author sentiment analysis through tweets. That was the other second objective, and that's the solution done. So raw data analysis, I said I spent a lot of time on raw data analysis. I understand what the data is, what is the structure. This raw data analysis give me the bone structure of how I want to implement my logic. What is behind that, what I have to do. I got a structure of it just going through raw data analysis. I spent good time on it. Then I understand what I have to do. I have to convert it to a data frame. Then I have to apply the cleaning and all the thing I get from here itself. Then there was a conversion of raw data into data frame. So for having a structure, you must need something. You must need a mold. And for that, I used pandas data frame, and I imported the authors and tweets and put into a data frame, and then it was ready to get started with. Then I defined some function that I will explore. We will explore in the upcoming cells. Then translating tweets into English language. Going through the tweets, I found that there are some tweets that are in Japanese, and for better utilization of all the data, I wanted that tweets to be converted into English, and then I work on that, and then I use this for others for the purpose of solution. So that I did that, translating into English language. Then there was a data pre-processing where I clean all the data. I worked over the unnecessary elements and made the data ready for the entity extraction. Then there was extracting entities and counting its frequency. That was the main part of it. So understanding that extracting, I spent good time of understanding how to extract the entities. There was a lot of function. There was a tokenization was there, stemming was there. There was a lot of functions and methods available online. But what the problem was there, that actually extract the words out of it, not the whole line. Like I have a sentence and I want the main verbs, main nouns out of it, that on what that actually the whole sentence is about. So that was quite a bit of problem if we go for tokenization and go for the noun tagging. If I go for noun tagging, then there would be a problem of, like, I can get 2 words, like whole the entities would be in 2 words, or whole the entities would be in 1 word. So that was a huge issue, but I didn't want that. I want something that extract the main idea behind that tweets for me, and that I take it as an entity. So that was a big task, and I researched a lot. I was like about to give up and give the the last that I was about to give up and give that tokenization method itself. Then I found the text blob library that helps me to actually that helps me with the noun phrase extractor, and that was the magic for me. I applied the noun phrase extractor, and why noun phrase extractor, I would be talking about that also. And that extracted all the nouns, that noun phrases, not noun only. Noun can be extracted from tagging itself, from tokenization, but I extracted all the noun phrases from it, and that was the entity that I have to work on that. Then there was a data visualization part, because already I am having entities and counting the frequency using the counter of NLTK, that toolkit. So the task was to just visualize the data and solve the objective first. That was the first thing. The second part, that objective 2, there was an author sentiment analysis through its tweets. So my motive was to putting for over here, the motive was to put the sentiment analysis, like get to know that what are the feelings, what the feeling the author want to put into the tweets, and that was the main idea. So for that, I have to first arrange, I have to put an author, and I have to arrange all the tweets by the author into that particular column. So I created a new data frame and did the same. Then on that basis, I applied the sentiment analysis from the NLTK toolkit, and then from there itself I get to know that what are the percentage of positiveness, negativeness and neutral are there from the author, and on the basis of that I decided, okay, this is a positive tweets, this is a negative tweet or more. So this was the author sentiment analysis. This was more of a playing with the data frame and applying the function in a correct way. That was the main thing. And all these things become easy just because of the cleaning of data and understanding the requirement, understanding the bone structure of this particular assignment. So this is the conclusion. So over here I also shared the challenging parts, like what was the most challenging. I already shared the most challenging was understanding the entities. For me, that was a more challenging part, and I shared why noun. And yeah, let's begin with the code actually. Let me connect this to the environment, runtime environment, and then I will run all the things in front of you and it would be much clearer. Okay, so we are now connected. So first I'm going to install a particular Google Translator version 4.0.0. That is because there is an issue in the translator, so I installed this particular version. This was one of the bug fixes. So I installed that in front of you. Then I will install NLTK, some of the toolkit like stop words, brown, wordnet, all these particular libraries out of it. And then here comes some of the required libraries like pandas, numpy for arrays, numpy arrays, pandas for data frame, JSON for reading the JSON file, NLTK is stop word for removing the stop word like the, are, is, other words like that. Then counting frequency from the collection library, importing counter for counting the frequency of a word. It can be, by the way, implemented using loop, but this was a much better approach. Importing NLTK toolkit for using its tools out there. Then matplotlib for plotting the graphs, and Seaborn is for same only. Then importing Google Translator. So here we go, we import all of them. Then there come raw data analysis. So like just let's see that what is in the data. So by the use of json.load, I just load the data of tweets, and this is something messy it looks. So let's have a look. So this is something messy data, and there are some Japanese tweets that I have worked on, and like yeah, over here it's all of them. So let's go. So this is what it is. Now here comes converting the data into data frame, pandas data frame. So that is pretty simple. Looking through the tweets, grabbing the authors one and grabbing those tutors, tweets actually, not tweeters, tweeters tweet, and putting into two columns with a name tweeters author, tweet author, and tweet text. So I did that, and here's the result. Here's it, the result. So this is something it looks. This is a messy. There's no need of nice. There's no need of, yeah, it can be helpful in analysis, the sentiment analysis, but I didn't think that this is much like I can get the understanding from the sentence itself. So there's no use of this particular sign. So I have to remove all of them. But before that, I have to, in step 3, I have to go for functions that I'm going to use in future. So there's a remove pattern function that removes a particular pattern out of the tweets that I'm going to need. So I have to define that. Then there comes converting tweets into English language. I use Google API, I made my account on Google Cloud and I used the API and I translated all the tweets that are in Japanese to English, and I also tried to convert all the other languages to it into English, but I was not having a credit on the Google Cloud to actually use their API because that is a paid API. So I only strict with Japanese because Japanese language was most in the tweets. So that was the idea. So I'm not gonna run this because it's gonna take a lot of time, but when I would be submitting it, it would be perfectly run and would be visible to you. Then there comes the data pre-processing, that cleaning the tweets. So what I clean from them, I clean the hashtag, the word starting with hashtag I clean, and removing hashtags I clean, remove users I clean, HTTPs, RT, punctuation I clear, and then I converted all the cases into lower cases and remove the stop word. Using that stop word I have already imported that function, and then removed okay, there are some words like I, E, B, something like 1, 2, so that are not that much needed, that are actually the numbers, right? Or some other words that are totally random. So there are something random in the tweets also. So what I did, I remove all the words that are having length less than 2. So I removed that. So let's do it over here. Then I created a clean tweets. Let's visualize that clean tweets. So here it is. Okay. So this was the earlier version and now it looks like this. Very fresh, very clean and ready to implement, ready to get implemented with this stuff. So this is how it looks. So now the time was entity extraction from finding finding frequency of it. So first let's visualize the difference. I actually already did that. So this is the clean one and this is the messy one, that totally raw tweet. So this was the difference. Now here comes extracting it. But before that, I take the example from the assignment that I was provided with. Pink pearl apples are tasty, but empire apples are not. But this text blob noun phrase got issues because this pink pearl, it actually is an adjective, and not all the machine learning models are trained on all the names actually. So there comes the issue. So empire is actually an adjective if you take, or a simple noun you can take. So it takes pink pearl apples. It recognizes that it is a noun phrase, but it's not able to recognize the empire apples. That was the issue over there. So this is the result. This is the result of entity. This is a pink pearl apples and apples, and I showed you how I extracted the entity, same from the assignment itself. Now here come to apply on all of them. So I make a blob function and I use dot apply blob on all the entities, and it's gonna take some time, and it actually did, right? So here we go. Okay, so we are done with this, and let's visualize that entities. So here is the data, that data visualization. So now entities are converted. Phase study, this is a disease name. So it's like something, it was very nice. It was really very clear and very nice. I have actually tried that. So now our entities are ready, and it's time to count the frequencies of that entities in the descending order. So I did this, like simply use the counter to find the most common counts. Then I created a dictionary, a data frame, and then have a visualization. Then I save them. Okay, so it's actually running itself. So this is something, the frequency is there. Chronic leukemia, that is a disease that occurs most of the time. That is 1102. Cancer adults that occurred 373 times. There's a new article and new trial over here. So this is actually treating as a noun phrase that didn't have to treat, but you can't build a custom model for your custom. I can build a custom model for this particular disease itself, but for general it's not actually possible. So that's why there's a problem. This like new article was used a lot of time in the tweets. That's why it's actually taking as a phrase, noun phrase, and taking over here. Okay, over here others are there. High risk is there. High risk is also a part of noun phrase. Then data visualization is there. Simple data visualization is not much lengthy. It's simple about drawing a bar graph. So this is actually a bar graph here. And we are done with the solution, right? We are done with the solution. So I just run this with the help of two CSV function, and it will save this data into CSV file. After that, there was a ninth step, objective to solution. So for that I created a copy out of that particular data of clean entities data, and then use this pandas, and okay, I have to put it over up itself. So this is what I used, and I load in code web am. Okay, so this is actually English language. This is an English language loader that actually loads and work with sentiment analysis. This is actually a custom vendor sentiments that actually use for sentiment analysis, sentiment intensity analyzer that gives me the percentage of the response that actually like in positive or negative, that gonna help me with that. So over here itself you can see I have created for each author the entities I have created. I have entities I have added, and look for the sentiment of that author on that particular thing. So let's run this and can see the data over here. So it's gonna take some time actually. So yeah, so this is actually model. So it actually, you can see for each, okay, over here it would be better visualizer because I have cropped down over here. Yeah, so you can see over here itself, this is actually added with that entities itself. So over here, let's see. Yep. So you can see for each author there is an entity, and that entity, the sentiment of that author on that particular sentiments of the author on that particular entities is over here. So this is our actually the result that is ready for putting the objective to results is ready. So it's over here, simple. I just renamed this columns because it was first author was there, then entity was there, then overall polarity was there. This was the actually frame that I was provided with, and this is it actually. Just putting objective2.csv file using 2CSV, I just created it and have saved it. Just run it up. This was the thing. Mistakes I have already covered. What are the mistakes I said? There was like mistakes in like noun phrase extractor in entity that was actually covering some of the noun phrases that was not relevant to the tweets. That was also being covered. That was one of the issues, and that can't be solved, I believe, because machine learning model can't be built for a particular type of thing. It can be built, it can be a custom then. Okay, shortcoming and how I approached the shortcoming was understanding the entity. It takes tons of time for me to understand that, but I actually finally did that. And yeah, that was best part, and I applied Google API. That was the best thing, I feel it. And yeah, this is pretty much explanation about NLP assignment, and I believe you loved it, and I'm looking forward to hear from you. Thank you so much.